Devanshi Joshi and I'm from ARIHANT College of Education. So today I'll be taking your class. So before going towards like what we'll study today, let's have something else and I want you all to answer it. Alright? So for that we have to go to the next slide. So let's go. Alright students, so now that we are on the next slide, so I'll be showing you small clips and then I'll ask you some questions based on it. So you have to answer it. So first let's see the clip. Alright, so what did you saw in the clip? Yes, it's Lord Buddha. And from which religion do we belong to? Correct, Buddhism. Excellent students, very nice. Now let's see the next one. Yes, students, so there's another clip for you. So let's see. Yes, students. So now tell me, what did you saw in this clip? Yes, we saw Jesus Christ. Excellent students, very nice. So tell me, from which religion do we belong to? Correct, Christianity. Excellent students, very nice. You are very bright students. So now let's move to the next one. Yes, students. So now let's see this one. Yes, students. So tell me, whom did you saw in this clip? Yes, we saw Guru Nanak Ji and Tegh Bahadur Ji. Right, correct. Very nice, students. And from which religion do they belong to? Sikhism. Very nice. Excellent. You're really bright students. Very nice. So now let's see the next one. Yes, so let's see this clip. Yes, students. So what did you saw in this clip? Yes, we saw mosques. Correct. And which religion do mosques belong to? Islam. Excellent. Very nice. Very good, students. So now let's see the last one. Alright? Yes, students. So now let's see this clip. Alright, so now students, tell me, what do you saw in this clip? Yes, and very nice. Yes, so you saw Hanumanji, you saw Shivji, you saw Saraswati Mata, you saw Ramji, and you saw Durga Mata. Very nice, excellent. So students, tell me, these idols belong to which religion? Excellent, very nice, very good students. So they belong to the religion Hinduism. Excellent, very nice. Yes, students. So as we saw different idols from different religions, and there's a place where people believe that the God himself has resided at that place. So that place is called the pilgrimage. Alright. So students, we are going to study a very interesting poem today, and the name of that poem is The Pilgrim. Yes, students. Alright. So first I'll read out this poem to you all. Alright. Alright, students. So let's start reading this poem. Alright. A pilgrim going a lone highway came at evening cold and grey to to a chasm deep and vast and wide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. The chasm held no fear for him, but he paused when he reached the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old men, said a fellow pilgrim near, why waste your time in building here? Your journey ends with the close of the day. You never again will pass this way. You have crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build ye here at eventide? The pilgrim raised his old grey head. My friend, in the path I've came, he said, there's forward after me today, a fair-headed youth who must pass this way. The chasm which held no fear for me, to the fair-headed youth may be pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. My friend, I'm building this bridge for him. Alright students, so now that we are done reading this poem, let's discuss this poem. Alright, so for that we have to go to the next slide. So let's go. Yes students, so the poem's name is The Pilgrim, and you can see in place of the poet's name it is written anonymous. So why it is written there? So it's because the poet of this poem is unknown. So in place of the poet's name, because we don't know the poet's name, so in place of that we have written this anonymous. Alright, so let's start discussing this poem. Alright. Yes students, so let's discuss this poem in two lines. So the first two lines are, a pilgrim going alone highway came at evening cold and grey. So here students, there's a pilgrim. So I have told you who is a pilgrim, the one who goes to the pilgrimage. Alright, so he is a pilgrim and he is going alone highway. So he is alone and he is going on a highway. Came at evening cold and grey. So at what time he is returning or going? So he is going at the time of evening when it is cold and grey. So grey means there would be sun is about to set, so the sky is little bit grey colored. So let's see the next two lines. Yes students, so the other two lines are, to a chasm deep and vast and wide, the old man crossed in the twilight dim. So here students, we have a hard word which is chasm. So let's first discuss what does this word mean. So chasm means a steep gap in the earth surface. So you can see in the image also that there's a steep gap between the two earth surfaces. So that gap is called chasm. So for students, I'll use this word to make a sentence. So then you also have to make a sentence out of it. Alright. So the sentence is, in the mountainous area we can see chasms commonly. So here students, how I have used, like chasms are basically present in the mountainous area. So I have used this word there. Alright. So let's move to the explanation part here. To a chasm deep and vast and wide. So the chasm is deep, it is vast, and it is wide in size. Then the old man crossed in the twilight dim. So you can see that the old man, who is the pilgrim, so he crossed the chasm in twilight dim. So here twilight dim means that the sun is about to set and there's a little bit darkness around. So the old man has crossed this chasm. Let's move to the next lines. Yes, the chasm held no fear for him, but he paused when he reached the other side. Alright, so students, here the chasm which he crossed had no fear for him, because he crossed the chasm very easily, because he's an old man, he is an experienced man. So it was easy for him to cross the chasm. But he paused when he reached the other side. So he paused when he reached the other side of the chasm. So let's see the other two lines. Yes, so lines are, and build a bridge to span the tide. So first let's see the meaning of these words, span the tide. What does this span the tide mean here? So span the tide mean go across the tide. Alright, so students, first I'll make a sentence using this word and then you have to make it. Alright, so the boats of fishermen can span the tide very easily. Alright, so now students, it's your time to make a sentence out of it. Yes students, make a sentence. Yes, correct. Bridges are built to span the tide, means to go across the tide. Alright. So what does the old man did when he, crossed the chasm and he paused? And so what he did, he started building a bridge to cross the tides, to cross the gap between the earth's surfaces. So he started building a bridge. Alright. Let's see the other lines. Yes, so old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, why waste your time in building here? So then there's a fellow pilgrim who was near and he said, old man, why waste your time in building here? So he is asking the pilgrim, the old man, like, why are you wasting your time building here? Alright, so let's see other lines. Yes students. So the next two lines are, your journey ends with the close of the day. You never again will pass this way. Alright, so the fellow pilgrim is saying to the old man that your journey would end when this day would close down. When the sun sets down, your journey would end. And you never again will pass this way. So he's saying you're never going to pass this way again, because when you go to a pilgrimage, it's only once in your lifetime. Alright, so he's saying like that. So let's see what else he's going to say to the old man here. Yes, so you have crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why built ye here at eventide? Alright, so students, here we have two new words, which is first is ye and the next one is eventide. So let's discuss about these two, then we'll move on to the explanation part. So the first one is ye. So even in your books also you have seen that the meaning of this word is you, and before that a word is written which is archaic. So archaic means in the olden time. So the word you was said in the olden times, it was said as ye. Then we have the next new word which is eventide. So eventide is late evening. So for students, I'll make a sentence out of this hard word. So it is, the fishermen are returning home at the eventide. It means that the fishermen are returning to their home after doing their work at late evening. Yes. So now let's move to the explanation part. So what does the fellow pilgrim more said to the old man? So he said, you have crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why built ye here at eventide? So the fellow pilgrim is saying to the old man that you are done crossing the chasm which was deep and wide. Then why are you building this bridge in this late evening? Alright, so the fellow pilgrim is saying to the old man. Let's see the other two lines. Yes, so the pilgrim raised his old grey head. My friend, in the path I have come, he said. So what does the old man did? So while he building the bridge, so the pilgrim raised his old grey head. So we can see old grey head means the old man who is the pilgrim who is making the bridge. So the pilgrim, he raised his head and he said, my friend, in the path I have come. So he said that my friend, in the path I have come. So let's see the other two lines and discover what does he mean by that. Yes students, so the next two lines are, there followeth after me today a fair-headed youth who must pass this way. So the old man is saying that after me like when I'm done with my journey, there would be a fair-haired youth, means there would be youth people who belong to the youth, means the young generation. So who must pass this way? Who, they also have to pass this way. So let's see. Yes, students. So the chasm which held no fear for me, to a fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. So here the old pilgrim, the old man is saying that the chasm which held no fear for him, because he is an experienced man, because he is an old man. So the chasm held no fear for him. But to a fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. So it means that to a fair-haired youth means for the youth people, for the young generation, this chasm would be a pitfall. Let's see the meaning of this new word, which is pitfall. So pitfall means trap. So let's make this make a sentence using this word pitfall. So a hunter created a pitfall to catch the rabbits. Alright, so here we can see that how the hunter has made a trap to catch rabbits. Yes, so let's move to the other lines. Yes, students, so the last two lines of this poem are: he too must cross in the twilight dim. My friend, I am building this bridge for him. Alright, so here the old pilgrim, the old man is saying that he too must cross in the twilight dim. So who is he here? He is the young generation, the youth. So the old man is saying that the young generation would also cross this chasm in the twilight dim, because it is the same time for all the pilgrims to cross this bridge while they return to from visiting the pilgrimage. Then he's saying that my friend, I'm building this bridge for him. So old man is saying that I'm building this bridge for the young youth, so that it would become easier for them to cross this pitful chasm. Yes, so students, we can see that how the old pilgrim has taken a very important decision, very nice decision, which will help the future generation and it would benefit them. So here students, you also should develop this kind of decision making qualities in yourself, and you should take great decisions which would help everyone all around yourself. And we can also see that how the old man has thought while being in place of a youth. So he has also shown a great amount of empathy here. He's thinking about the other people which might cross this chasm while they'll return from the pilgrimage. So students, you should also develop these kind of empathy, feeling of empathy towards other people. So that we are done with our poem today. Let's go to the recap part and I'll be asking you some questions. For that, let's move to the next slide. Yes, students, now we are on the recap part. So I'll be asking you some questions based on this poem which we have studied today. Alright, so the first question is, what do you call a poem whose poet is unknown? So students, come on, answer me. What do you call? Yes, we call it anonymous. Very nice. Excellent, students. Now let's move to the next question. What did the old pilgrim did to save the youth from the pitfall? Yes, excellent. He built a bridge across the chasm. Correct. Very nice, students. Now the last question. Who was experienced in the field of crossing the chasm? So now students, tell me, who was experienced? Yes, he is the old pilgrim or the old man. Excellent, students. Very nice. Yes, students. So now it's time for the application part. So the first question is, to whom did the old man made the bridge? So students, tell me. The first option is fellow pilgrim, second is children, third is young men. Yes, tell me. Yes, the young men. Very nice, students. Excellent. Now the second question is, at what time does the pilgrim build the bridge? So now tell me, the options are morning, afternoon, evening. Tell me. Correct. It's evening. Excellent. Very nice. Now the third is, the chasm held no fear to whom? First is old men, fellow pilgrim, or the young men. Excellent, students. Very nice. It's the old men. Very good. Very nice. So now, students, let's move to the most interesting part of our today's class, which is the homework part. Alright. So in homework, you have to write this poem in your notebooks, and you have to write it very neatly and in a very clear manner. Alright. Yes, students. Thank you so much for being such an amazing student. With that, I'll conclude my class here. Let's meet in another class and we'll have fun together. Alright. So thank you so much and bye.